Hello, I'm Selena Odirichukwu from the Department of Actuarial Science. My teammates and I are representing Group 2 for the purpose of this presentation for the course Business Communication, and we will be speaking on the topic Business Communication Skills and Strategies. Without wasting much time, the description of each person presenting in this group of 9 will be in the description box below. We will get right into it, and we hope you find this interesting and insightful.
My name is Aminat Abaniwonda. Myself and Sanni Laifat will be taking the subtopic communication. So what is communication? Every one of us has and is still getting involved in communication. It doesn't matter the form, the behavior, the sounds, the body language used. As long as the third party involved is receiving the message, communication is happening. Communication is dependent on the use or no use of words. So there are two types of communication, verbal and non-verbal communication. So verbal communication is just communication with the use of spoken words and language. So verbal communication can happen in many forms. Conversations, like the conversation you have with your classmates, your teammates, your colleagues. So interviews in job recruitment, speeches in seminars, workshops, presentations. Verbal communication allows individuals to express their thoughts, ideas, and suggestions. For where feedback is needed instantly or is necessary, verbal communication is preferred. So that takes us to the importance of verbal communication. So the first important we have is clear communication. To convey complex ideas, to avoid misconception, verbal communication is concise, simple. Second, building relationships. Every relationship we had started with communication. We have effective collaboration between your workplace, your personal relationship, verbal communication is needed. We have provides clarity to avoid misconceptions, misinterpretations. Then persuasions, debates, and to push you to do things. Verbal communication is preferred. Latifa will talk more on non-verbal communication.
Non-verbal communication. This is the process of conveying messages without the use of words, either written or spoken. It is the communication made between two or more people through the use of facial expression, body movements, hand gestures, and any other non-verbal cues to convey a message. Non-verbal communication can be culturally specific, that is, different culture placing different meaning to a certain expression. For example, nodding the head up and down. This may mean yes in a particular culture, while in other culture it means no. Now, importance of nonverbal communication. This includes expressed emotions. Nonverbal communication conveys emotions that allows people to understand how we feel without even saying anything. Then we have enhancing verbal communication, we have cultural awareness, build trust, defines distance, and flow of regulation. The next subtopic is example of nonverbal communication. This includes body language. This involves body movements, hand gestures, facial expression to convey messages. We have haptics or touch. This involves the use of touch to convey emotions, intentions through hugs or handshakes. Proximity. This is the physical distance between two or more people during communication. We have personal appearance. Our choice of clothing, hairstyles, and any other appearance factors are considered as means of nonverbal communication. Thank you.
My name is Idumebor Emmanuel. I am a partner Ifeora. We'll be talking on the subtopic listening. What comes to your mind when you hear the word listening? Listening is the ability to accurately receive and interpret messages in the communication process. It is key to all effective communication. Without the ability to listen effectively, messages are easily misunderstood. Some importance of listening include 1. To specifically focus on the message being communicated, avoid distractions and preconceptions. 2. To gain full and accurate understanding of the speaker's point of view and ideas. 3. To critically assess what is being said. 4. To observe the non-verbal signs accompanying what is being said to enhance understanding. Some non-verbal signs include facial expression, eye gaze, hand gestures, and so on. 5. To show interest, concern, and concentration. 6. To encourage the speaker to communicate fully, openly, and honestly. Thank you.
My classmate before me has spoken on listening and its importance. I'm here to talk about Horia's model of effective listening and the barriers to effective listening. I believe we can all agree that listening goes far beyond simply hearing. When we talk about effective listening, what comes to mind and what do we really mean? Horia sometimes is an acronym used to explain effective listening. There are 6 areas that best describes effective listening, compiled by Horia, which are hearing, understanding, remembering, interpretation, evaluating, and response. Moving on to the barriers of effective listening. There are some common barriers to effective listening. First, we have prejudgment about the speaker, assuming that the speaker is going to give some unimportant information, arriving late for a speech, presentation, or lecture, judging the speaker by his or her mannerism, voice, appearance, accent, etc., lack of concentration and interest, avoiding listening to difficult, boring, or complex information, and selectively listening only to what is considered interesting. And then last but not the least, speaker or listener being distracted by disturbances. These are the barriers to effective listening. Thank you.
My name is Shamsudeen Oladimeji. Myself and my partner, Ajayi Emmanuel will be taking on the subtopic reading. What comes to your mind when you hear the word reading? Reading is something that we carry out in our day-to-day activities. It is not necessarily confined to you carrying a book to read. You might just be passing by or driving by on the road and see something written on the wall or on the billboard and wish or want to read through. So here is the definition of reading. Reading is the cognitive process that involves decoding symbols to help arrive at meaning. And reading has to be done with a purpose of understanding the text, because you understanding the text shows that you are paying attention to what you're reading. I can remember one of the comedians in Nigeria, that's Ima Oh My God, that came up with a comedy and says that he can finish up a book in some seconds. And it was like, though it can't be proved, maybe he did not read it, but what he read, it has no meaning to anyone. So now I'll be going to the reading process. We have 3 types of reading processes. That is the pre-reading stage, and the reading stage, and post-reading stage. What is pre-reading stage? This pre-reading stage, it is the stage that before reading, the intent, the mind you have, maybe what you want to read, what is pushing you towards reading this book, the intent, what you will gain. So while the reading process is the actual time, the time you are reading through the text and getting the meaning of what the book is talking about. While the post-reading process is the process of after you've done reading and gather the needed information. So in the business communication, reading is very necessary. It is very important so that you won't be left behind, and it helps with creativity. Thank you.
Reading skills for effective communication. It is important to know the different types of reading skills to make the most of your reading easy. These reading skills are required for effective communication. Extensive reading. Extensive reading is one of the methods of reading that people use for pleasure and fun. This method of reading aids understanding of words in context and enriches the vocabulary. Intensive reading. Intensive reading is used when you want to read carefully by paying complete attention to understand every word. This method is mostly used when you want to write exam and test. While you have scanning. Scanning is a reading method employed when the purpose of reading is to search for a particular piece of information. Then you have skimming. Skimming. Through this method, you try to understand the text in short. A lot of time will be saved through this method. Then we have critical reading. In this form of reading, facts and information is tested for accuracy. Written ideas are taken and analyzed until a conclusion is reached. Thank you.
I'm Odirichukwu Selena, and I will be talking on speaking as a business communication skill. In the most basic sense, speaking is the act of communicating with the use of spoken words or spoken language. As we have it here, speaking involves the production of sounds, words, and sentences that convey meaning to others. Speaking is an essential aspect of communication and can be used in a wide range of situations, from simple casual conversations to complex formal presentations. However, it should be noted that speaking involves nonverbal cues also, such as facial expression, body language, to convey meanings and emotions. Effective speaking requires not only the ability to articulate words, but also the ability to organize and express one's thoughts and ideas coherently to further enhance understanding. Speaking skills, this refers to the ability to communicate effectively through spoken language. And some elements of speaking skills include clarity, which is the ability to speak clearly and articulate words perfectly, and just to enhance the understanding of your audience and the people you're addressing. We have confidence. Confidence helps you, first of all, get over stage fright, nervousness, and just be able to connect with your audience properly. Organization, which is the ability to, or this is being able to organize your thoughts and ideas logically to help you make your speech or presentation more coherent and understandable. We have audience awareness, nonverbal communication, listening skills, and so on. The purpose of speaking. This refers to the reasons as to why we choose speaking as a means or medium of communication. Some purposes include informing, persuading. Persuading is used to convince, or used when we try to convince people to accept a particular viewpoint or take a certain action. Going forward, we have expressing of emotions. When we speak or communicate our emotions through speaking, it enhances understanding. Building relationships and entertainment. So these are the purposes, and this is what we need to know under speaking as a business communication skill. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sanya Mayowa, and I'll be talking about writing as a business communication skill. So writing can be described as the putting together of sentences to form a text. We make use of a set of symbols to represent sound of speech. In business, writing can be described as the exchange of information in a written format for the purpose of business activities. It has to be written in a professional tone, and it adheres to the conventions of grammar, punctuations, and formatting that are expected in that particular business field. Importance of writing includes it being critical because it drives communication in situations such as co-workers, collaborations, business transactions, and interpersonal interactions. Secondly, it is a means of reinforcing other skills as before and while writing. Thirdly, writing allows for the accuracy of a message as it gives opportunity for one to edit, correct mistakes, and enhance clarity before being sent out. Lastly, a written message allows for referencing. The receiver can read a written message over again. Writing can be instructional, informational, persuasive, or transactional. There are several types of written communication, which includes letters, contracts, reports, emails, briefs, memos, proposals, bulletins, social media posts, and announcements. To ensure an effective business communication, good writing must have some essentials, which includes clarity. A good writing is clear and easy to understand. Conciseness. A good writing must be concise and straight to the point. Organization. A good writing must be well structured and organized. Audience awareness. A writer must have the audience in mind. Originality. A good writing must be creative and original. Revision. A good writing must involve revision and editing before being sent out. So this brings us to the end of business communication skills and strategies. Thank you.